Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Hi.
We are live from a
We
very
are.
cold Holland.
And our
And
first live stream of 2023.
yes, first live stream. And to be very honest, the first Saturday we didn't stream. I was kind of lost. I I kind of missed it very much.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
good to be back, eh?
it's good to be back. Yeah. I'm
Perfect.
I am trying to do this with my telephone, which is uncomfortable, but it's very mobile, so that will help.
Looks good.
Yeah.
So you're at Duikvaker
I
right
can
now?
Vaker. Yeah, the show opens in about an hour, so here we have a lot of people doing the last bits and pieces to make our booth look awesome. And
Nice.
yeah, so
Looks good.
here we have. Uh, uh, how does that work with that camera? Here, Rico
Hi, Nico.
and Rob
Hi, Rob.
in very nice new purple t-shirts for the foundation.
Looks good. Looks nice.
And then of
Hey,
course
Paul.
the always present Paul
Yes.
Always, always.
and Yvonne and Wilma
Hi, guys.
also representing the foundation with very beautiful and very fun toys made by Petra.
And we take care of Simone.
And
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
familiar faces.
Still busy.
How is it in Indonesia?
We have a puppy.
Oh, you have a new pup? Yeah, I saw him already. Oh, very nice.
He's cute, eh?
He's very cute.
Yeah. How are you
He likes
guys?
the other dogs also?
Oh yeah, they're playing. They're getting along just fine.
Okay.
Perfect.
And yeah, of course, for me, it's like coming home.
Yeah.
I have done so many of these shows from the very first one until now. And I'm going to walk towards CNC, where, of course, our very famous and honored guest Raymond Remkes will be
Yeah.
there. And I asked him to say something, just to say something on the street.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay, so I walk there now. It's everybody can have an impression. Raymond,
Hallo.
Hi, Raymond. Hi.
Alles goed?
Ja, alles prima. How are you guys?
Mooi zo. Kunnen we eindelijk weer aan de duikles beginnen?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, we're live. Yes. I have to talk in English, right?
If you want to, that's okay.
No, no problem.
We've got some Canadians, Germans watching.
Okay. Then I will talk in English. But it's a little bit more than a month, and I will be visiting Talassa.
Yeah, yeah.
Can't
Would
wait,
love to
can't
meet
wait.
you. Yeah.
oh, a question, Arjen.
Yeah.
Raymond's group is starting in Manado or in Lembe?
Manado.
Manado, right? Yes.
Yeah. And Raymond and a few others already want to start diving on the next day.
Yeah.
On the 11th.
I asked Arjen if it's possible to do some dives on the day for Friday.
Sure.
Yes.
Guys, not to tell you.
No problem.
Perfect.
I'm looking forward to visiting Talassa, Arjen.
Yeah, likewise. And we're still trying to we're still trying to find that last guest.
Okay. Yes. One more. Yeah. I will
One
do
more.
my best here on the Duikvaker.
Yeah, good luck this weekend, man.
Yes. I will do that. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
See you. Hi, Rob. Hello, Yvonne, Katrien. Katrien says she's in front of the expo, so you will see her soon.
I'm going to walk to the entrance because usually there is a queue there. It's a very busy show. This is the only dive show that we do as Thalassa.
Yeah.
But what I heard that people really want to travel, and both the show in Germany and the show in France very busy. So it's really people really want to start moving again, which is good news for the whole industry, of course.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Let's.
you see people coming in already.
Yeah. Exhibitors, visitors.
For now, still exhibitors.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, it's getting busy already.
Yeah. What's the weather like right there?
At least it's not freezing.
Okay.
Not like when I arrived. It's miserable, dark, gray skies, and nothing fun.
Yeah.
Cold, wet.
It's the same here, except the temperature part.
Yeah, well, I settle for that.
Yeah. How you say, Aniek?
It's like I never get warm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I give you another impression of the show.
Nice. Oh, wow.
3 holes.
Can you aim down just a little bit? Tiny bit.
Okay.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lots of suppliers showing off their new gear. Shops that are present, dive schools, small items.
Yeah. That looks amazing.
Yeah, it's a full-fledged dive show. It's nothing amateuristic about it.
Just a question: Is it like the only dive show in Holland, or are there others?
No, this is the only one.
Okay. So you've heard it, everyone. If you're not there,
you miss out.
You miss out. Yeah, exactly. But still appreciate everyone checking in. Yeah, so so funny that Katrien is watching on her phone. Also, I presume.
She's outside.
Yeah, she said I'm in front of the expo. See you soon.
In the car.
In front of expo? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
Because it's too cold to wait outside.
Yeah. I almost had this vision of lines of people going around the block. So so there are 2 main halls.
Allemaal goed. We zijn live. An old friend. Very active in Egypt. Oh, goed. Je bent niet langs geweest.
Ons visum was
Oké. Oh, dat is goed. Dat is goed. Ja, zoveel mensen die ik ken van al die jaren. Dat, vanmiddag komt Pieter van Vollenhoven langs. En zoals altijd zal hij wel even bij mij stoppen. Dat doet hij elk jaar.
Ja.
Dus dat wordt wel leuk. Hey, maar Arjen, jij hebt ook iets voorbereid, hè, voor deze livestream.
Yes, I'm going to switch back to English because I made a presentation which kind of segues into trying to find that last person for the photography workshop. Hey, Linda. It's Linda, right?
Linda, right.
Hi.
You're on the live stream.
Oh, gezellig. Goedemorgen.
Hey guys, goedemorgen. Awesome. Duiken in Belt, Holland's one of Holland's largest online publishers, and a good friend of ours, Linda. So yeah, I prepared a presentation about digital imaging. Specifically, I want to kind of break apart a couple of elements of what a digital photograph actually consists of. I want to break it down to its constituent parts. So I'm going to explain all about that in a minute.
Okay. Then I think I will put my telephone on the booth, and I'm going to help out by preparing everything. Because
Yeah.
we had some connection issues with the screen, and maybe I can be of some assistance. So for everybody, thanks for being there again. How many people do we have on the stream, Arjen?
We've got 13 watching.
Okay, nice. And a few people already said that they will be watching your presentation later on because they
Okay.
didn't have time this morning.
Okay, sounds good.
So, how does that work? Shall I keep it like this?
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can't position it on a competitor's booth, but that would be better.
Wat zeg je?
Ik zei, je kan het niet aan de overkant neerzetten, maar dat zou beter zijn, want dan kun je de hele stand zien.
Wacht even. Met dank aan meneer Sunto. Oh, waar ben je nou?
Ik ben hier. Hey Fikri. Daphne says, goedemorgen. Ja, that's better. It's
So?
not easy, huh? Yeah?
Yeah, it's not so easy. And now
No.
I lost you completely.
Your camera's off.
Oh. Yeah,
Yes.
here goes. Yeah, why can Sunto not put something more decent so I can put my camera?
Yeah, find their manager and make a complaint.
It's not working.
Or just put it where you put it the first time. That's also fine, I guess.
Jeetje. Everybody drunk already?
I'm getting there, yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to try somewhere else. Oh, that's good.
That's good?
Yeah, is that stable?
Yes.
Ah, Wim says you should buy some glue.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We're live.
All right. Good luck. So I'm going to mute the Duikvakerbeurs while they are out there setting up. And yeah, I prepared a presentation on digital imaging because, you know, everyone who takes digital photographs, it's very easy. You know, you point your camera at a subject and then you take a picture and then you put your SD card in your computer or somewhere and you copy your photo and then that's the end of it. But I would like to dig a little bit deeper into how digital imaging actually work, what's actually going on under the hood of your computer. So I'm covering 3 specific subjects in this presentation. First of all, how do pixels exactly work and what is a pixel? what is image compression, and what are some appropriate file formats. Because my thinking is, if you are a little bit more conscious about the material that you shoot, whether it's photo, well, I'm focusing particularly on photographs for this presentation, but if you are especially curious about, what are some best practices that I can apply to my photos or videos for that matter, maybe this presentation is for you. So, but like I said, I'm focusing on photography. So what is actually a pixel? Well, a pixel is actually the smallest building block of any digital picture. Pixel is short for picture element, even though that would be pictel, but it's, I guess it's more popular to call it pixel. And we're talking about two different kinds here. We're talking about screen pixels, which are the physical pixels that you find on the screen of your device. And every LCD, LED screen has that. Maybe you remember, if you're old enough, like me, when I was younger, we had CRT televisions. Those were cathode ray tube TVs. Those did not have pixels, but they did have something. They had like a woven filament, and but it works a little bit similar. So screen pixels we're talking about in the physical space. So the pixels that are actually on your screen, giving light from the screen to your eyes. The second part of this is image pixels, and these are digital. This is digital information. Image pixels are not the same as screen pixels, but an image pixel tells a screen pixel what to do. We'll get more into that later. For both of these, however, both of these mix the colors red, green, and blue. And they all have 256 values per color. I will get into that as well. And that allows us actually, especially in this modern day and age, that allows us to mix millions of different colors. And I will show you how that works. And by all means, if you have any question at all, feel free to drop a comment, and I will get right on it. I'm happy to be interrupted by you. Now, the screen pixels, if you look at an exaggeration of a computer monitor, it kind of looks like this. So, for example, this is an LCD screen, and for each pixel, there is one LCD, right? A tiny little liquid crystal display. And each LCD consists of 3 subpixels, right? And each subpixel, I hope you're still with me, is red, green, and blue, right? So that's kind of, and then there is like, thousands of LCDs on your screen, and each LCD consists of these red, green, and blue pixels. So this is what this would look like, right? So you've got a grid of pixels. I hope you're not getting dizzy from looking at this, but this is actually what is happening on your screen at the moment. So we've got a grid of pixels divided by 3 subpixels, so red, green, and blue, over each line, and then the next line, and then the next line, and then the next line, all the way down to the bottom of your monitor of your LCD screen or LED screen. Now, the number of pixels in each screen depends on what the resolution of your screen is. So the higher resolution screen you have, the more pixels you have on your screen, which allows for sharper images to be shown on your screen. That should make sense, I hope. So with this understanding of how pixels and subpixels work, let's try to make some colors with them. Okay, so first of all, this is very simple. The LCD turns on or off certain subpixels in order to make a color or lowers their values. So if you want to make red, you just turn off green and blue. Then you have red, which you see here on the left. If you want to make green, you turn off blue and red. Then only green remains, right? But because the space between these subpixels is so small, your eyes will not perceive the black lines between those subpixels. And also on the right, if you want to make blue, you turn off red and green. And that's how you get blue. But these, of course, are just 3 colors. How do we make more colors with only red, green, and blue? Well, let's go back to this example. Can you guess what color this is? So we've got red, green, and blue. They're all on full blast on your screen. And if you zoom out a little bit, this is white. And you know, your eyes are tricking you because the red, green, and blue are so close to each other. If you squint, you lean back and you squint between your eyelashes a little bit, then you will see that this is the color white. It's the same principle as visible light, except instead of all the colors of the rainbow, we're only using 3 primary colors. But it's enough to trick our eyes to convince our brain that this is white. Here's another one. So this is the same pixel grid, except we turn off all the green subpixels. Well, what do you get? You get magenta, aka purple or pink, right? So if you turn off green, you get the full color magenta. Thank you, Ingrid. Now, what color is this, right? We have the same subpixel grid, the same pixel grid on your monitor. You only turn off the red subpixel. What you get is cyan, right? Now this might seem, wait, let me just go to the next one. Now, if you turn off only the blue subpixels, what color do you get? So you get only red and green. You get yellow. Again, I want to ask you to lean back from this. That's why I made it a bit smaller, so it's easier to see. But if you take a step back from your screen and you're watching this and you squint through your eyelashes, you can see that it's actually yellow. Now, showing these colors, you know, you've got white, no, so there's magenta, there's cyan, there's yellow. Hi, Charlie. Greetings. And of course, there's black. Well, black is simply you turn off those LCDs, those subpixels, you turn them all off, and then you get black. For those of you who are a little bit familiar with, perfect, Charlie. For those of you who are a little bit familiar with printing, you know, analog printing, printing flyers, business cards, that sort of thing, they mix 4 colors. They mix cyan, magenta, yellow, and black in order, and white is of course the color of the paper that you're printing on. So it works in the same kind of principle, but in more of a digital format. So that's what your screen is doing. It's tricking your eyes in order to make you believe that you're watching very distinct colors. And of course, the fancier your screen is, meaning the higher the resolution is, the more colors, the brighter and the more vibrant the colors will look. Now, besides these, you know, we just looked at pixels that are either on or off, but each pixel can also have separate brightness levels, right? So, and this consists of 256 separate levels, all the way from full on, all the way to black, which means off. So those are screen pixels. I hope this is a little bit clear. But by all means, if not, or if you want me to repeat something, then please do let me know, and I will do that. Now, from the physical pixels onto your screen, we are now moving towards digital pixels, aka image pixels. Now, what is an image pixel? So if you were to take a photo and you zoom in all the way, and I will show you an example, you will see different kinds of pixels, but that's just information. It's just, so basically a digital image tells your screen what to show, what to put where, right? It informs your screen, or rather it tells your graphic processor inside your computer or your phone or whatever, hey, you put this pixel there, you put that color there, etc., and so on. And so it also assigns color values to your screen's LCD's subpixels. Now, to use an example, here's a picture of Susie, our turtle. And this, of course, is a fairly higher resolution photo. But if I want to make it a bit clearer so that you can see the picture, the pixels, I have made it very, very, very low resolution. So this is the same picture, But you can very clearly see the pixels here. You can very clearly see all the digital pixels that constitutes this image. So this, of course, is happening on a much bigger scale in this picture, right? So the more pixels your picture contains, the sharper it is. And especially if you pair that with a very good display, it will be absolutely sharp and crisp and vibrant and very good looking. So just going back to this one, you see here that each RGB value has, like I mentioned in the hardware pixel slide, each RGB value has 256 steps, which allows, again, for mixing of millions of colors. So red goes from 0 to 255. Green can go to 0, which means off, to 255, and also for blue, right? So you can mix these values. So for example, if you take red, green, and blue, you push them all the way up to 255, and like I showed you in the previous example, you get the color white. If you put them all in exactly the middle, you get gray, right? Pure gray. So that's how the mixing of these colors kind of works. Now, the big question is, of course, how does your computer know what pixel is supposed to go where? You know, how is this information organized? Oh, sorry, Lincha. Just a second, guys. I've got some puppy overload. Lincha. All right, there you go. So how does your computer actually make sense of all this information, and how will it be able to put each pixel where it's supposed to be? How does that work, right? Well, there's something called the bitmap. So the bitmap is literally a map where all the bits of information are supposed to go. So, you know, it's essentially kind of like a spreadsheet, right? So you've got here in this image, you see, you know, if you're familiar with Excel, you see column A, which is the red subpixel. It's the red column of subpixels. Then column B is green, column C is blue, and so on and so forth. And that gets repeated over and over and over again. Depending on how big the image is, the digital image, you know, that tells you how many columns there are of RGB values. And then on the horizontal, each row represents one pixel. So you've got, if you look at this slide, there is 3 values for 1 pixel, right? So there is, in column A, there's value 100 for red. Then there is value 90 for green in column B. And then in column C, there is a value of 252. Now, mind you, I completely randomized these values. I didn't make an effort to put all these values in manually, because that would be insane, right? So if you look at this, yeah, this is actually this is completely different values. But I did tell Excel you can only put values between 0 and 255 there, right? So here we see 100 red, 90 green, and 252 blue. Now, if we put all of those values together, then we get this nice, rich blue color. Now, the reason that we get a blue color is that the value for the blue subpixel, for the blue component of this value is the highest, right? If, for example, if the red value would be 255 and blue would be 100, for example, then you would see more of a soft red kind of image color. So, excuse me, right? So that's kind of how that works. So again, the bitmap informs where each pixel in a digital image. Hi Siep, goedemorgen, good morning. And the bitmap informs where each pixel is supposed to go and what its 3 red, green, and blue values are. Yeah, so if you start at the top left, you know, 190, 252 for the first pixel in the top left corner. And then for the next pixel over to the right, so if you look back at this image, then we've got 198, 203, 197 is the next pixel. That's the second pixel from the top left, and so on and so forth. Now, because computers are so incredibly fast these days, it's very easy to keep redrawing the screen 50 to 60 times per second. So that's why we see a constant image on the screen. It's just trickery. That's all it is, and it's amazing how much that technology has progressed. So I hope this is clear. Do let me know if you have any questions. I would love to hear from you. So then, of course, maybe you've heard of megapixel. Now, what is a megapixel? If maybe you've been shopping around for a camera, or if you have a camera, and then it says this camera has X megapixels resolution or something like that. Basically, what it means is megapixels means 1 million. 1 megapixel is the same as 1 million pixels, and it does nothing more than inform you what the possible image dimensions are for that digital image. So, for example, let's take this photograph here of our lovely garden here in Manado. So if this image, which it is, this is one of our marketing photographs that we send out to our agents and the people who are curious about knowing more about our resorts. So on the x-axis, on the horizontal axis, there are 2,880 pixels, right, from left to right. And then on the vertical axis, going from top to bottom, there are 1,920 pixels. So this is actually twice the size of a full HD, a little over, twice the size of full HD. So if you multiply 2,880 by 1,920, you get 5,529,600 pixels, or 5.5 and a little bit megapixels, right? So that's what megapixels does. That's all it is. It's just how many millions of pixels can your camera screen kind of register. So if you have a 5 megapixel camera, that's fairly low quality. Well, I don't know the exact numbers, but you want to be higher than that. This is already a little bit obsolete in terms of modern digital photography. So if you're looking for a good quality camera, go for a high number of megapixels. I don't know the exact numbers of all the cameras out there, but this is just an example to illustrate what megapixel actually means. So if you're shopping around for a camera, that's something to keep in mind. Now, the next part I want to cover, I hope this is all clear. It's I didn't want to make it too technical because I don't like that myself. I like a layman's explanation. The next one I want to talk about is JPEG compression, because, of course, and if you have a big image, it consists of large amounts of data. There's per pixel, there's all these values, there's positional values, and so on and so forth. Especially in pictures that contain metadata, but that's a whole different subject. I am not getting into that for this presentation, but basically JPEG stands for Joint Photographic Experts Group. So it's the abbreviation does not really mean anything other than the group that kind of came up with the algorithm and published it. It's been around since 1992. It's extremely suitable for photos. I remember in those days I had a PC. What did I have? I think I had a 486 DX2, I believe, at that time, and this was before the Pentium processors, if you remember those, came out. And it was a fairly decent gaming computer. And so I had never seen photos on a computer before. I had never seen that. And then suddenly someone sends me one of my friends in my network, they sent me a JPEG, a picture, a photo, and I was pretty much amazed by that. It's like, wow, that's amazing. So it's what it did was it made also, you know, the resulting popularity of the internet. It made JPEGs extremely visual overnight almost. So JPEG is extremely suitable for photos. It's not suitable for sharp designs, like for example logos or you know, graphic designs. It's not very suitable for that, and this is because of the compression artifacts, which I will explain to you. And of course, the biggest advantage to having compression is it means you get a smaller file size, which of course makes JPEGs very portable. It's very easy to send a JPEG photo compared to, for example, a PNG or other larger image formats. So I will show you how that works. So here we have a picture of a frogfish, and this is at maximum quality. Now I'm hoping, because we're going back in steps of quality with the same picture, so I'm hoping that that you will be able to discern what more image compression does to quality. But I have a better example of that after. First, I want to hydrate before I continue to educate. Just a second. Dry throat. So this image of this lovely image of this frogfish taken by Alexander Schultz, I believe, yes, is at maximum compression. It's still a JPEG, it's still compressed, but you don't really see a difference. Now, if I go to quality number 5, which is a lower quality, and I'm switching back to 6, well, you have to really look for it, but it's unnoticeable, the difference in quality. Now, if I'm going to 4, you're beginning to notice slight degradations of image quality. You see that? It becomes a bit more noticeable between 5 and 4. You see the image, it's twitching a little bit. If you focus above its eye, it's fairly noticeable. Then we go to quality 3. That's definitely doing something to the image. Quality 2, and the worst one, meaning the most compressed image, is 1. So you can see already that this looks you're losing a lot of detail. Now if I go back all the way to 6, as you can see, then all the way back to compression of 1. And so you see how terrible that is. It really doesn't do a lot for this photo. It is a very small file size, though. That is of course a plus, but it really destroys your image quality, and you don't want that. So once more, we're zooming in a little bit. Quality 1, quality 6. So you see the difference. Do you see what's happening here? What you're seeing, and I would like to, if we go back to quality 1, I want to divert your attention to the top left, the top left area of this image. What you're seeing are what's known as compression artifacts. Hi, Marjolein. Nice. Yep. You know where we are? Stand 957. 957. Hal 2. So, and compression artifacts are a result of this image compression, right? So just looking back without the grid, so you're seeing that it's divided up into bigger chunks, right? So this is how you lose the quality. So let's just go back quickly to quality 6. There is still some compression, but it's not as bad as this. And here is a very good example. This is from the perfect, Marjolein. And this is a very good example of extreme compression on the left of this cat. This was taken from the Wikipedia page on JPEG, which I looked at which I referred to during my research. And you see how, if you take it to the very extreme, all the way on the left, you see what little is left of any sorts of detail. And then gradually onto the right, it becomes more and more realistic looking and not so pixely and looking a lot better. So how does this compression actually work? So I've already explained how the bitmap, right? The bitmap contains all these values for all these pixels, the RGB values for each pixel. But now maybe if you look very carefully at this table, you start to see something different. What you're seeing is a larger number of pixels that all have exactly the same RGB values, right? So what is happening is, if we take this chart, I've taken the RGB values for all of these pixels. So what is happening, instead of all of these pixels having different colors, the JPEG compression algorithm actually, what it does, it actually compares the values between neighboring pixels, and then it averages them and then makes them the same. I hope you understand what I'm trying to explain here. Now, this, of course, saves a lot of data. And the reason for that is because there is this table, but there is, in the algorithm, the table basically says like, hey, you've got, so if we take, for example, if you look at the top left, cluster of pixels, 114, 213, and 31, there is another table that says, hey, there is this number of pixels that all have this value, but you only have to repeat it 5 times, and that's it. And then it goes to the next compression artifact, and then does it again and again and again and again. So basically, you're just comparing pixels that kind of have a similar value, meaning a similar color, and then you average them out, you put them together, and then you just basically tell, in that area, you repeat that number of pixels X number of times. So that's why a compressed image is so much has a much lower memory footprint, right? So this is kind of how I can best explain what compression is and what it does. So when is compression useful? It kind of depends. Of course, when you're sharing a photo of your loved ones or yourself or your pet online, on social media or whatever, it's probably useful. You don't want to compress it too much. When you're doing work on a website, like, which is my job, for example, you want to be very careful with compression. You want to find a very good balance between the ultimate compression without crushing all the detail, and then you don't know what you're looking at anymore. You want to optimize the image so that it is very well compressed, but also you can still make out plenty of detail. And of course, if you want to send a picture via email, I would definitely recommend you compress your images. So hopefully this is clear. Again, feel free to ask me any questions. Now, there are different file formats that I would like to bring to your attention. Now, what is a file format? We already covered JPEG a little bit. There is GIF. Some people like to pronounce it as GIF. I will talk about that in a little bit. There is PNG, and there is RAW, and I will explain to you next what those are. So GIF, or GIF, stands for Graphics Interchange Format. It's a bit of an older format. It's been around before JPEG, but it's an 8-bit image format, and that means it can only hold up to 256 colors because there are not so many values per pixel. So there are only, I believe, 16 values per pixel. So you don't, for photos, it's not really very well suited. It's a bit outdated, like I said. Most websites are not really using this anymore. I would definitely not recommend using GIF for your underwater photography because, yeah, you're just losing any detail and vibrance. However, GIF is still used for short animations. They can be animated, so you can put a number of GIFs. If you know how to use Photoshop, you can use a number of GIFs and then put them in a timeline and then animate them. Another advantage of GIF is that it comes with its own transparency value. So especially back in the 90s and early 2000s of websites, GIF was mostly used for your logo on your website because it had transparency, meaning that your logo would be isolated, and then whatever the background was of the web page, you would see that color through the transparent areas of that logo. So that's GIF. I would not recommend using it for photographs. Use JPEGs. Then there's PNG, aka Portable Network Graphics. This is a lossless compression algorithm. Lossless meaning you don't lose a lot of quality. But that, again, that makes the compression a little bit limited. And the problem with that is it's not so practical for photography because you're also dealing with a large file size. So if you want to do if you want to do some post-processing on your photographs, I would not recommend saving them as PNGs. I will get to that next. But another big advantage of PNG, it's kind of like the modern version of the GIF. It also comes with transparency. So then we come to RAW. Oh, there's somebody touching Simone's phone. Oh dear. Hi. Hi there. Hello. I don't know if they can hear me. Hello.
Durf je dat?
Hi.
Ik vind dat bloedlink. Die ben je kwijt. Ook niet voor mij.
Ja, we zijn live.
Maar heb je nog steeds weer druk?
So let me mute them quickly. The final file format I want to go over, and this is by far the most perfect one if you want to go into digital photography. I'm pretty sure Raymond Wennekes, who we saw at the beginning, will talk to you about this as well. RAW is, it's literally raw data. It's not an abbreviation for anything like JPEG is or GIF. So people tend to call it your digital negatives. You know, if you remember film photography, this is like the digital equivalent to your negatives. It's a very large file size per image, but it's perfect for post-processing, meaning you can do color grading, you can change the brightness, the vibrance, the tint, the color temperature, whatever you want. The cool thing about that is it's non-destructive. So any changes you make to your raw image in Photoshop or in Lightroom or whatever digital photo editing app you use, you can always come back to it and go back to the original image as it was. So all you need to do is open your raw photograph in your app, in your photography app, and you edit it, you export it, then you make a copy to JPEG or whatever. You still keep your original raw file, and then you save it to like a hard disk or something. And this file format is supported by most semi-professional and upwards cameras out there. I would not be surprised that even if the most basic snap and shoot camera, point and shoot camera these days would also support RAW. I would not be surprised if it is. I don't know, but this is by far the best image, the best file format for your digital photos. So you want to save these to a hard disk and then make your edits and then save them to JPEG later. So that concludes my presentation on digital imaging. I hope you enjoyed it. And with that, I want to, of course, we have one spot left for the underwater photography workshop that is going to be held here from March 12th until the 22nd of March this year. One spot left. We prefer a male photographer. If you know anyone, please share the stream right now. Thank you, Ingrid. Dankjewel. Thanks. I hope it was interesting. Thanks. And we prefer a male traveler because we have one spot left in a twin room with another male. So if you know someone, please share this with everyone you know. Tell them, it's going to be an awesome 2 weeks. It's going to be fantastic. Most of the group are already arriving on the 10th, and Raymond had requested to do some diving on the 11th already. So it's going to be absolutely fantastic fun. And Raymond is going to teach you everything about underwater photography itself. So, composition of your shots. We're
Dus zet dat hier weg dan.
Hello. Hello.
Hallo?
Hi. You're live on the air.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Great.
Hi.
So, and now?
Ja. Ken je?
Ik vond het al heel vreemd dat hij hier stond.
Nee, we staan live.
Oké. Wat dan
Schrik me dood.
Yeah. So just to finish up, if you we need one more spot for this photography workshop. It's going to be awesome, and share it with everyone you know. So Simone, you're just in time.
Yes, I know. I just rescued my telephone from another person.
Yeah. It was really funny.
Yeah, we're almost going live on the show. It's a couple of minutes. Finishing off here. Yvonne has made a lot of funny hats.
Nice. Awesome. Hey, maybe one for this guy. Maybe one for this guy, Simone.
Huh? Yes,
Maybe.
I will bring him one with the shark. We have sharks.
Yes.
Well.
Thanks, guys. Bianca, Katrien.
Everybody, hope to see you here. And for Canada, I missed you guys a lot. Yeah, stay well, stay safe.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to stop.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring my telephone to safety and clean up the last bit.
Simone, best of luck at the dive show.
Thank you very much.
Lots of bookings and lots of luck. And
Yes.
shoot me all the data as soon as you've compiled
See you
it.
on Wednesday.
Yes, see you.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone. Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.